The attachment, that's why these conversations keep looping, because they ain't really about Africa. They ain't really about ancestry. They ain't really about Juneteenth. Those are containers. The attachment moves through the container. The reward moves through the container. The need for significance moves through the container. And when I observe that, I stop caring about the race conversation itself, because race ain't the root. Race is the racialized expression. Dominance and supremacy is the construct. Humanity is the source. The source is the human tendency to organize through separation, hierarchy, ranking, exclusion, control, the need to feel significant by placing yourself above, apart from, or against someone else. The construct grows from those tendencies. The containers carry it. The expressions perform it. And because people stay trapped inside the containers, they never reach the source. Race becomes the ceiling of analysis. Everything gets reduced back to race. Everything gets interpreted through race. Everything gets explained through race. And when that happens, people stop seeing the larger construct. That's why this conversation exhausts me, because everyday people keep showing the same pattern. Draw a distinction, attach to the distinction. Receive a reward from the distinction, defend the distinction, then mistake the distinction for reality. What's wild is that the same people who recognize line drawing when somebody else does it suddenly stop recognizing it when they do it themselves. We lived with consequences of categories. We've lived with the consequences of classifications. We've lived with the consequences of legitimacy tests. We've lived with the consequences of people drawing lines and assigning value to those lines. So why imitate it? Why reproduce it? Why carry it forward? Because Juneteenth is supposed to point toward freedom, not another category, not another distinction, not another hierarchy. Freedom. And if freedom is the goal, then the question ain't who was here first. The question is, why are we still attached to the mechanisms that keep reproducing the ineffective construct? Because freedom requires more than changing positions inside the construct. Freedom requires examining the attachment itself. That's the word. Not another argument about Africa. Not another argument about ancestry. Not another argument about who lived here first. The examination. Until people examine the attachment, the container changes. The language changes. The story changes, the identity changes, yet the construct stays exactly where it is. So when somebody says, I ain't African, I don't find myself asking where their grandmother lived. I find myself asking, why does being not African matter so much to you? Because that's where the attachment lives. That's where the examination begins.